Therapy is not for the weak or faint-hearted. It is only for strong people who want to improve themselves. Weak people may try therapy, but they will give you 1,000 excuses on why it doesn't work, why it's a waste of time, why it's therapy is not for the weak or faint-hearted. It is for people who are strong and want to improve themselves in their lives. Weak people are going to give you thousands of excuses on why therapy didn't work for them. It just sucks. It's not good. And it's a waste of time and money. While strong people, people who are committed, will understand that yes, therapy sucks at times, but in a good way. Therapy in itself is not meant to be pleasant. If a therapist only tells you nice things, they agree with you, oh, honey, it's whatever you're saying, oh, it's such a pity that this happened to you. This is not a therapist. This is somebody who just listens to you and not helping you. It's actually making things worse. A therapist is going to listen to you and they're going to be guiding you through the healing process, through the therapeutic process, so that you can overcome and process the trauma that happened to you when you were a child. And when you do, and for things that you don't even have memories for, but you have feelings and how you felt, because this is what our body does. And at the same time, it's going to bring up trauma and triggers that are always there with you when you're using the energy just to keep safe and keep locked up somewhere in your mind. This is what therapy does. Yes, it freaking sucks. First 2 months of therapy were absolutely horrible. Almost nothing changed. The only thing that I had were when I was talking with my therapist in that hour, I had just a little bit of weight lifted from my shoulders and chest. If you know that when you're really down, will pretty much almost be when you're depressed, you almost feel like heavy weight here laying on you all the time, every day, every single second. When I was in therapy, that kind of like just went away for just a little bit, not completely, but a little bit. Till the 2 month mark, where I felt 20 minutes of just amazingness. One part of my trauma processed, I processed that trauma, where I felt ecstatic. The music was different. My outlook on life was completely different for those 20 minutes. There's a video, going to be linked somewhere here, that I actually talk about that one. But then for the next 6 months, it was the trauma that I was processing at that point was the heaviest trauma that I lived through in childhood. And every single waking day, those 6 months sucked big time. I was in constant panic attack. I had constant panic attack, constant anxiety, constant fear. I felt almost somebody cutting my circulation, my breath in my throat. Like there were goosebumps all over me. It just felt like a tingling sensation all over my body. It was that bad. And each therapy was horrible when I had to relive those those moments, talk through them, what was happening, to try to understand why was it happening, and just wrap my head around of all of the situations and all that. And I just felt horrible. It sucked big time. Now, but it was necessary, unfortunately, like it or not, so that I could process that trauma. And when I processed, when I talked about this, and this is one of the interesting things with our brain is that until we either write it down, actually write it down, or until we actually talk about this, to our brain, it almost sees quasi dream. It is not real until we actually talk about this. And talk about this, and when it becomes real to our brain, it starts acknowledging the reality and then start thinking about it, processing it, what happened. Yes, for me, it took about 6 months therapy, 6 months of thinking about it every single day, panic attacks every single day. And was at work, I legitimately had panic attacks around 12 to 20 times per hour. And I had on my laptop when I was working, I had in big, bold, black letters written, "You're safe. Everything is going to be okay." And every single time when I had a panic attack, anxiety attack, I was just looking and saying them out loud. And it kind of calmed down for about 10. I had to do it over and over again. But the longer I did this, easier it was. Fine with therapy. As weeks went by, I didn't need those printed letters. I could say myself in my head. And those anxiety attacks, panic attacks, went from 12 an hour slowly to 5, 6. And I didn't have them. I had I was just uncomfortable all the time because I was going through trauma, reliving that was in my past, but I was able to function at least semi-normally at that time. And then around the 8-month mark, 9-month mark of therapy, I was able to process that trauma. Life became so much easier. Yes, it sucked. The majority of the time for that 8-9 month mark in therapy, it sucked. And the only anchor that I had was the belief that therapy is going to work, the belief in my therapist, because I trusted her and I felt really safe. Still do. In those tiny 20 minutes where I felt just amazing, where I could anchor myself in these 20 minutes, what my life could be and will be in the future if I stick with it. Yes, that's why therapy sucks, but in a good way. See you next time.